Hi, I'm Rob the Chef. Today I'd like to show you a recipe called Guito's Chicken Livers Peri-Peri. It was invented by a Portuguese friend of my father who used to win everybody over with this cracker of a recipe on our many trips to the South African coast. So, what you need to make this is 450 grams of chicken livers, trimmed and cut into uniform sizes. Uniform sizes because you just want it to cook evenly, and also it's just, I find, more appetizing. Then 700 grams of diced plum tomatoes from the can, a quarter cup of flat leaf parsley chopped, 2 cloves of garlic chopped, 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, a teaspoon of dried chili flakes, a tablespoon of paprika, the sweet paprika, then 2 teaspoons of salt and 2 teaspoons of sugar. Then also over here I have some smoked paprika. Also I have some Pinot Grigio wine here. Now the reason I chose Pinot Grigio because it doesn't have very high tannins, and generally you want to, when you're cooking, you want to try to stay away from red wines that have high tannins, because as the sauce reduces, so do the tannins, and it can leave you with quite a harsh result. So high tannins is a no-no, and also you want to maybe try to stay away from wines that are too oaky, because as again the sauce reduces, the oak flavors can become quite bitter. So that's a no-no. Then also over here I have some black pepper, some olive oil, and as a complement some arugula salad or rocket salad, some slices of wedges, lemon wedges should I say, sorry. And also I have some sliced Portuguese bread which I'm going to toast later, and also a bay leaf which I forgot. Now first of all, what you want to do is bring your pan to temperature, because we're going to fry the chicken livers in them and brown them. So I'm just going to coat the bottom of the pan with some olive oil. So quite a funny story attached to this recipe, because everybody loved this dish so much. My father and some of his friends, they convinced Guito to partake in this cooking competition, this outdoor cooking competition, which he did, and he actually won the whole competition. And first prize was a young pig, a live young pig, which he brought home to the campsite, and with the intention of probably slaughtering it and eating it, but us kids got way too attached to the pig and made him give it to a local farmer who promised us that nothing bad would happen to this pig, but who knows what happened to that pig. So as you can see, the chicken livers are browning nicely, which is exactly what you want. Nice color on there, and you'll notice that there's going to be a nice brown bit that will start getting stuck to the bottom, but don't worry about that. We're going to use the red wine to deglaze this pan, so we'll get all those nice caramelized flavors from that pan. So what I'm going to do, once they're nicely browned, I'm going to add all the chicken livers into the bowl and just deglaze this pan with about half the amount of red wine, and just get all those lovely flavors from the chicken liver off the pan, because we want to use this pan again later, just because I don't feel like washing an extra pan. Just just might as well use the same one. So, here we have that. I'm just going to set that aside. I'll just rinse that pan out quickly. Clean out with a cloth. Right, so I'm going to get this pan to temperature again, and I'm going to saute the onions. So you don't want to get the pan too hot because yeah, otherwise they'll burn, and you don't want to go for that burnt taste. It's not really nice. So again, I'm going to put a bit of olive oil at the bottom of this pan. Let it get to temperature. As you can see, it's starting to smoke a little bit already. It's almost too high, so I'm going to set that right back. As I add the onions, it should bring down the temperature of the pan a little bit. Now, what I find helps with sauteing onions is to just add a little bit of salt at the beginning, because this brings out the just draws out the moisture of the onions and just helps with the sauteing process, just prevent it from burning. So, this is going to take approximately 3 to 5 minutes until the onions start getting a little bit see-through and just tender. I'm also going to add the garlic. Always add the garlic a little bit after the onions, because garlic tends to burn a little bit easier. I have let that simmer for about 4 minutes now. I'm going to show you a little bit closer. This is the result. So as you can see, the onions are almost got like a translucent color. That means they're tender and sweetened up. Now usually I like to fry up all my spices pretty decently. But with paprika, you've got to be a little bit more careful than other spices, because it's got quite a lot of sugar in it, believe it or not, which can burn quite easily, and that will again leave you with a bitter taste which you're trying to avoid. So just give them a very quick and gentle fry, just to get all these essential oils out. Just increase your flavor a bit, and then you can just add all the rest of the ingredients, like the chicken livers, the 700 grams of chopped plum tomatoes, and the rest of the wine. Oh, and not to forget the tomato paste, and last but certainly not least, just a spoon tip of smoked paprika. Now you want to be very careful with smoked paprika, because it's quite pungent, so too much of it can ruin your dish. And also bay leaf. Don't forget the bay leaf. So, and that's basically it. All you need to do now is let this sauce reduce, which should take in the region of about 20 minutes or so. You can crank up the heat a little bit, just make sure it doesn't burn. And then once it's reached its desired consistency, Bob's your uncle, you're done. And then what I need to do is toast the bread, top it off with some arugula and a slice of lemon wedge and bon appetit. So I have this sieve lid over here, which is quite useful, so it doesn't splatter onto the stove. So I'm going to sit down, wait for a while, and I'll get back to you when the sauce is reduced. That's been cooking for a while now. Just going to take that off. As you can see, it's gotten a lot thicker, and it's probably going to take another 3 minutes or so, because it needs to be quite thick, because it's going to go on top of the toasted Portuguese bread, so you don't want to soak it up too much, so a nice sort of thick paste is good. And those aromas are really strong and beautiful. So what I'm going to do is switch on the grill. Okay. Put the Portuguese bread onto a baking tray. Just add a bit of olive oil so it can toast nicely. Add a bit of kosher salt to that. And set that aside. So the oven is up to temperature. I'm going to toast the bread now. And by the time that bread's toasted, this should be ready. Perfect. That's what you want to go for. Nice and gently toasted. Then, right at the end, before you serve, I'm going to put through the parsley. Just mix it through. That way it doesn't discolor and you still have the flavour of the parsley. You want to just let it sit for maybe a couple of minutes, just so the parsley wilts a little bit. Then toast onto the plate. Thick side up. So this is what the result is. Nice deep dark red in color. Top that off with this gorgeous sauce. I'm going to take some arugula. Just going to dress that a little bit with olive oil and some kosher salt. That up a bit, and that will serve as a lovely garnish. And then just to top it all off, a slice of lemon. So this is it, Guito's chicken peri-peri. Just like its owner, it's got a lot of character. It will make you feel richer for having known it. Bon appetit.